control. Politicians and celebrities make deals behind closed doors, promises broken, and their income soars. Hidden agendas run the grand parade. In the circus, choose a masquerade. Believe me, I wouldn't lie. I've been given money, power, and fame to keep you in line.
Welcome, everyone. It's another beautiful day in America, another feel-good story for humanity. All right. So, before we go on, a warning. If you are not ready to hear the lowest lows of human capabilities, this probably isn't the stream for you. You can come back next week, next time that I stream. It'll be a more fun, cheery one, right? But you have been warned. I am not responsible for your inability to process the following information. I will not say anything graphic, as obviously we don't need to go there, but anything I allude to. Yeah, and if you're sensitive, move along. There's plenty of cat videos on the internet. Like, that was outside of like corn, cat videos is like the number 2 thing on the internet. So just go ahead and search for those. Protect your own mental health. But as far as the rest of us degens, who probably already know the depths and depravities of what we're going to be talking about, buckle up, because we have been vindicated. We are here to collect our apologies, right? We will be as smug and disgustingly remind everyone who told us that we were the crazy conspiracy theorists, that we are right yet again, and bow before us and our intellect, which is superior in every way. Our ability to distinguish truth from fiction, our ability to process depravities and share it in a very matter-of-fact way. I mean, some of us do it in a very red-faced, screaming over Thanksgiving dinner way, but still might have made us crazy, but we are still here. We are ready, we are willing and able to accept our apologies for those in my life that happen to be, watching. I do have some lurkers from the real world. Go ahead and send me my sorries, my apologies for doubting you. You knew everything all along. You are excellent at this stuff, and I was wrong for calling you crazy. Just leave a comment below, send me a super chat, get your apology sent in straight away, because fair is fair, and I have been abused, okay? So we are invoicing our friends, our family, our coworkers, right? Go ahead, take a minute today or tomorrow to unblock them and send them your I told you so invoices. The amount will be entirely up to you and each individual circumstance, okay? So I feel like strangers who you don't really interact with in person, but you just kind of know them, whatever, online occasionally, they can get away with maybe giving you $20, but we got to be higher for the people that we have seen in person or have been forced to work alongside or have ever invited into our homes. All right. So now that that is out of the way, we can go to the details. Just to save my butt, everything is allegedly and for entertainment purposes. This is a story time. Do not take it seriously. But 3 million files were released, even though they have 6 million that they promised to release over a month and a half ago. heavy redactions, but funny enough, they didn't redact most of the victims who were rightfully pissed off and made a statement about it. But hopefully there are enough of us non-demonic people in the world who will employ them in the future, because it does seem like they are purposely punishing the victims. It's like a database for the elites to know like whose lives to destroy. That's just my theory, whatever. Coming out of my ass, right? But anyways, this also serves to further intimidate and threaten any survivors and their allies in the future for other heinous things, because they're going to keep doing this stuff from coming forward, right? So first, let's get into how to find the files. You can go on the DOJ and look up Epstein stuff, and but it's not a really good way to search for stuff. So what you can do is there's a fun thing you can do. Let's see if I can. Let's see if we can show you how to get it. So let's see. Can I play this? It's good.
Email website equivalent called jmail.world, where you can use it as if you are Jeffrey Epstein checking his email. But not only that, their icons on the bottom, like they also have JPhoto and J Drive and other J things. You can like see all of the pictures that were released.
Anyways, let's not get into that. All right. So I will not be showing any photos. I will not be talking about that stuff. We're trying to just do like the fun conspiracies stuff that, isn't going to make us traumatized, because that's a good idea, right? All right. Let's see. Here is just what it looks like when you go on to it, so you can see it. I'm not going to, go through it, like, just in case there's something that I don't want shown. But here's an example. It's Jay Hale, and you could see like his little face in the upper corner, and you could go through stuff or whatever. Blah, blah, blah. And these are like a lot of the important big name people that you would remember, supposedly. So he has, I feel like, I don't know if they put this, I don't know. There's Elon Musk. I don't know how to say Eid Barak, Ghislaine, Peter Thiel, Larry Summers, Steve Bannon, whatever, Bill Gates, Noam Chomsky, whatever, blah, 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 Kimball Musk, Deepak Chopra, Peter Attia. Let's see, anybody who I freaking know. No. Anyways, so like this is what it looks like. You guys have to do this on your own time. I'm not going to be obviously going through 3 million things, and I'm not showing any photos or videos because I'm not insane. But we're just going to be talking about like some of the fun revelations that we have had. Okay. So just some fun stuff. All right. Let's see the first one. Okay, so just to remind us where we have come from, this will show you how I personally felt at a Thanksgiving dinner in the past, talking to old coworkers that I have since blocked, and many people in my life when the P-gate happened. I don't even want to say any of the words, like the edible cheese and dough thing gate happened. When that happened, I was like the first one who was like, yeah, of course this is real. Of course. Now I'm just saying allegedly, but we have enough to say we know, right? And I just remember I had a girlfriend at the time. She was like a big online, like a big online, like a Twitter person back, because it was Twitter back. It's like 100 years ago. It seems like 100 years ago. She was like the maid of honor in my wedding, all this stuff. And she went nuts. Absolutely nuts. We fought like cats and dogs. And I'm like, of course this is real. Like, because I was a social worker. I worked with people who worked in the child services, and that shit was shady. We would lose, not we, but like she would tell me about how they would lose thousands of kids all the time. And like she was just told to like just be quiet, zip it, don't say anything, you're gonna lose your job. Plus they weren't even paying them well. So it's just like, what? I imagine the people who were getting paid were getting stuff under the table to make it worthwhile, because I would hate to think you're doing it for minimum wage. It's really sad, but it's not good, you guys. Also, we had one that happened in Florida where they caught judges taking kids away. They caught like the police departments, police officers, a whole bunch of like social workers, the entire chain in a ring to get kids. All right. So I knew about this, and she's telling me these things don't happen, and I'm insane, and I should get like freaking evaluated or something. And it's like, really? I have talked to kids when I was doing, my master's or whatever in psychology. We had to talk to kids who had gone through horrific things. And I'm talking to them and they're saying stuff that I cannot repeat. So I know stuff like this happens. I know this world is a dark, sinister place. I remember one of my old bosses, I was telling him some stuff. I think we were talking about serial killers or something. I had met some or whatever. And I was talking to him about, and he was like, you don't have to work with him. I can get somebody else to do it. I'm like, no, this is cool. I'm interested. I want to see, I feel like, I can handle it type of thing. And he was just telling me, he's like, I don't know, there's something weird about you that you probably should go into this line of work. He wanted me to go back to school to be a lawyer so that I could help the kids that had gone through this stuff, because he thought I was like, like able to distance myself from that type of stuff so well that I should probably go and help those people because I can keep my faculties when I'm thinking or looking through or whatever, reading about that stuff. But at the time I probably could. Now I don't think I could, because once you have kids, that the wiring in your brain changes drastically and you become like, no. But yeah, there was a time where I knew about that stuff a little bit more than the average person, and it is real. And you guys, anyways, so this is our favorite rant from our favorite ranter, and we can all relate to him if we knew in the past. Wait, it's muted? No. I swear to God, I can't do. Hold on. Let me do it again. I cannot believe that it was muted. This shit always happens. Anyways, let's do it again.
Let me tell you something right now. I came here and I proved they're keeping babies alive and taking their organs.
How did you prove that?
They're admitting
Jamie pulled some shit up on Google?
No. They admit it now.
That's
they're
you too.
normalizing it. No, the governor. Listen to me.
Do you really think there's people out there campaigning for late-term abortions? You think that shit's real? You think that shit's real?
Voted Monday to keep it legal.
Who would do that? Who would do that? Who would campaign for that's
They
the most
fucking did it,
that is the
Bravo,
craziest
and
shit
you
ever.
can't fucking admit they're fucking killing already born kids, so you're telling me it isn't real when they had a fucking vote in the goddamn fucking Senate.
That's a
What the
conspiracy theory.
fuck? I am ready to beat your
That's a
fucking ass and
conspiracy
get your way.
theory.
You think you're fucking tough, you're about to get it. Bullshit! They're killing already born babies. Stop fucking lying. God fucking damn it. I'm getting pissed now. Let me tell you.
Anyways, so I feel like so many of us have had these screaming matches with people through the years about like, yeah, like this is true. What are you talking about? It's not true. People would never do. Oh, you really believe that? Oh my gosh, you really believe that? Oh, you're so low IQ. You really believe that? And then, it's bittersweet because you don't want it to be. You kind of want the dumbasses to be correct about this one. You kind of just like, I hope these dumbasses are right. I hope I'm wrong. Like if there's ever been a time to be wrong about how the world works. But you know, we didn't make a mistake. We are correct. All right. So it's just it's really bad. But anyways, here's Alex's reaction to what happened.
So I'm going to go throw up, actually. And this only happens every few years when something really, really bad happens or something. I mean, I'm physically going to puke probably right now. My mouth is watering right now. Because I have integrity. And I just really need the Trump administration to succeed and to save this country. And they're doing so much good. And then for them to do something like this tears my guts out. Because
So we're going to try to have some light moments in the darkness because I feel like it's important for all of us to have a nice balance. So we're gonna end it like happy times, right? We're not gonna be down in the dumps. All right, let me do this one. This is a fun one. So we can have like this is like a palate cleanser.
Frankel's in the Bethany Frankel's in the Epstein files. To summarize it, though, all that was said is that she is annoying and he does not want to spend time with her anymore. So I agree with Epstein. Bethany Frankel.
If you guys know who Bethany Frankel is, yeah, sometimes the demons are right. What are you going to do? I know. We're going to be happy and angry at the same time. I feel like we could do both. Why not? Why can't we be happy and angry? I'm going to play a little clip of like a comedy. I'm not going to play the whole thing because like definitely they're going to take it down, whatever. But here we go.
Epstein. I had a really wonderful time. Dearest Jeffrey Epstein, I had a really wonderful time f***ing prostitutes with you yesterday while my wife and kids believed I was meeting you about investments. I came on that Spanish hooker at exactly 2:15 a.m. in the south corridor of the mansion, and I've attached a photograph of me giving a thumbs up next to the load, holding that day's paper and a large poster board detailing every member in attendance, which, as you know, included Reid Hoffman, Mark Andreessen, Bill Gates, the Koch brothers, Peter Attia, and the entire Rothschild family, all married and cheating as well. After urinating on the hookers, I collected the pee samples, had my assistant send them to the lab, and have attached a pie chart matching the urine in each area of the house to the corresponding billionaire, as well as a pie graph detailing which billionaire fornicated with which prostitute for how long and in which wing of the mansion. Introductions to other billionaires for more prostitutes and peeing coming shortly. Please let me know when I can meet Woody Allen. Dearest Jeffrey.
See, we got some good comedy from some hard times. All right. I'm not going to tell you guys exactly what I found in it. And I don't feel like it's important to the plot. We already know what they were doing. We already know how messed up they are. We already know because we've been hearing stories forever. And remember, we did the red shoe conspiracies. So this has been going on for generations and generations and generations. Okay. This is just how it is. This is how it's always been. It's how, unfortunately, it always will be. As long as there's people who have way more and they don't need to work, they're going to get bored. And when bored people walk this earth, they can't get dopamine because they have too much abundance in their life, because all of us slave people are working in the mines and whatever, getting them all these resources so they can build these gilded mansions and be bored all day. And then, of course, to get dopamine, they have to do the most sinister, disgusting, depraved things imaginable, because that is the only way, when you have everything, that you can feel anything again. All right, so this is the neighbor in the New York mansion. Let's see what she has to say.
Have you been living in the neighborhood for a long time?
Yeah.
And did you ever see any really rich and powerful people go inside this building?
You want to know who I saw going in there?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone you've heard about.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you name any names?
Yeah, you know them all from the newspaper.
Did you see Bill Clinton going there?
Who?
Bill Clinton?
Yep.
Bill Gates?
No.
Trump?
Yep. I think of the other ones. Andrew.
Prince Andrew. You saw Prince Andrew going there. And what do you think actually happened inside of this home?
All the most terrible things you could think of both.
And what do you think the truth is about the Epstein files?
Well, someone has them. Yeah. Maxwell probably would be the best source. But she'll stay put.
Would you support Donald Trump if he were to give her a pardon to let her spill all the information?
No. Because that means she's out of jail.
Mm-hmm.
She was definitely his partner. I believe that.
And so you've seen people like Prince Andrew, Trump, the Clintons, a lot of other people walk inside this building.
Yeah, well, you knew that. They all come with security guards who park here or stand out here, so you can't miss it. Mm-hmm. And I saw plenty over the years. This is a long time ago now, before we knew what was going on. Just young girls. I mean, young.
How old
teenagers.
were the girls that you saw go in?
Well, because they were coming from schools. They were coming from public schools.
Really?
So they were high school age.
Wow, so you saw a bunch of high schoolers going inside here.
You could tell. I always come this way home, and you cross the street, and maybe on the far corner be two girls. Now, don't get nervous. It's going to be all right. He's really a nice man. You know, he promised people that didn't know people like this exist in a gorgeous house like this. They didn't know he was going to abuse them. He said, "Oh, you're so beautiful. You know, when you get out of high school, I'm going to get you a modeling job. I'm going to set you up." And, you know, he promised them all kinds of things, and they unfortunately believed him.
Have you been living?
Mm-hmm. So we do have to talk about some things in the files that I think are plants. They're planted in there. This is just my opinion. I mean, we all got opinions, right? I feel like there's some things that don't make any sense, and we have to also acknowledge that exists too. So this is one thing that I think is very sus, and I think it's because a certain somebody said a certain thing about some people, and they're not allowed to say those things, and so they're just like, throw them under the bus, throw them in the files, but they didn't do a very good job.
Gone down a little bit of a rabbit hole here, so bear with me. This is an image from the Epstein files. This is right-wing influencer Dan Bilzerian and Post Malone. And you can see here that the two girls are blacked out. Except, here's the real picture that he posted on his social media in 2018. And he even commented on that today. So if they did this on purpose, what does that mean? Well, there's a political strategy called flooding the zone. It's basically flooding the media with shit to hide the truth. And Trump's former chief political strategist, Steve Bannon, brought this practice to light. It's kind of like when Michael Scott went around and spread a bunch of fake rumors to hide the real rumor so that no one would know what it was. So the purpose of images like this is so that the Epstein files lose credibility. So in light of this, I would take the mention of certain celebrities with a grain of salt for now. And while I don't agree with Dan most of the time, let's see what he's been saying lately. I mean, why would he be a target? Could it be that he turned his back on the regime? All right, guys.
Just something to think about. Now let's move on to something old that might make more sense Now that we know what we know,
Kidnapping children is not what great nations do. We in America are misinformed. Reality shows have warped our idea of what a hero is, or what the truth is. Kidnapping children is not.
it's just an odd thing to say. I don't know. It just, to me, it seems like an odd thing to say. So, now I'm not going to say which things I think are true and which things I think are not true, but I would go as far as to say the most horrific things probably are true, especially the things where the perpetrators are redacted. I think those are very true. We're not going to know who did it, but the ones that are not redacted, I have a feeling they're not as likely to be true, where the perpetrator's name is not redacted. I feel like those are either they're not true, or they're just throwing certain people on the bus because they were not easy to control, or they have to, sacrifice a few to save the many, right? That makes sense to me. So like the Trump stuff, like because they say all the people who accuse it, and a lot of it seems to be like after he was president, like that stuff was added later. It seems like anyone can make an accusation and then you have to add it to the pile. So we don't know about any of this. We don't know which is the truth and which is the flooding to make everything less credible as a whole. So all we can do is know that anytime people get extreme power, these types of things occur. So we have to remember, do not let any individuals feel like they have that much power and free time that they need to do sick stuff like this. That's all I'm saying. All right. And, just as fun, people are being shocked at random celebrities that are in the files, because why wouldn't we be?
The Property Brothers are in the Epstein files.
Kind of like every time you see a new name, because not everybody was listed in the, like where it says like the main names, like you have to go and search, and there's 3 million things to search through. All right. So, and then we have what happened in Norway recently. So let's see what's going on over there.
Yo, this shit is crazy. Today, the Norwegian parliament is going to introduce a bill today to discuss abolishing the monarchy because the royals are in the Epstein files. The fucking Norwegian parliament today are going to bring in a bill to discuss the possibility of getting rid of these motherfuckers because they're in the Epstein files. And that's not.
Well, also there was some other allegations from other places for them as well, but we already know what happened with that. And I don't know if you could guess. Your guess is probably going to be good. Here's an article. Norway retains its monarchy in the midst of crisis, right? Of course, they weren't gonna get rid of the monarchy. Okay, so it was, I think, 141 votes against giving up the monarchy. They wanted to keep the monarchy against 26 people who wanted to form a republic and get rid of the monarchy. So yeah, no contest. It wasn't gonna happen. All right, so then we have some fun stuff. Let's move on to some fun stuff. Okay. Let's get this one up.
Zuckerberg is gay. According to Jeffrey Epstein, if you read this email, Mark Zuckerberg is gay. According to Jeffrey Epstein, if you read this email, he talks about Mark Zuckerberg getting married to Priscilla, and someone asks, someone messages Epstein to say like, oh, they're jealous. And Epstein responds with certainty that Zuckerberg is gay. And that person responds, are you sure? And you might be wondering, well, that could be speculation. But if you look throughout the emails, Epstein, for example, let's take a look at what he mentions for Bill Gates. And he asks, is Bill Gates gay? And if you look out through the emails where he's mentioning the sexuality of many of these high-profile men, he has a clear distinction between certainty and uncertainty. And it seems to be the case that he believes fully that Mark Zuckerberg is a gay man. Honestly, now it makes more sense why he gifted Priscilla that statue, because it was giving no straight man would ever do that.
Okay, but unfortunately, just to further communications on the subject, Epstein does a follow-up and saying that he was just joking. But the funniest thing I'm kind of surprised about how many Americans, like Asian girls in Russia. No, this is not Jeffrey saying this can't be. Is Jeffrey Russian? Wait, hold on. Who? It's to Jeffrey from some guy. So I don't know who's speaking. You can't really tell. But anyways, the guy says, no, I'm not. I was just joking. But the funniest thing, I'm kind of surprised about how many Americans like Asian girls. In Russia, it's a different situation. So basically, he's saying he's gay because he doesn't think Asian women are attractive. So do with that what you will. Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but like, whatever. It could be a lavender marriage, or he could just be into Asians and everybody else thinks that's weird. It is what it is, but funny to think about. Anyways, side note, Zuck's wife, Priscilla, allegedly ran an exotic meat club where she served human meat, by the way. Anyways. All right, moving on. So we're going to talk about Biden now. Let's see what we have on that. So another conspiracy theorist is vindicated, I guess. I mean, let's judge for ourselves because we don't know. Like, this is just for funsies. We don't know what the heck's going on, what's true, what's not true. This could be something they added in there to make the extra conspiracy crazy people happy. You know what? Give us something. We need it.
I'm not ready for what I found in the Epstein files. Do you remember when I went on Dr. Phil and said that President Biden wasn't actually Biden and it was just someone in a face mask? Everybody laughed, including Dr. Phil.
But you think the president may not even be Joe Biden?
Yeah, I don't think that it probably is Joe Biden. If you look at Joe Biden from 10, 20 years ago and the Joe Biden now, I am not going to gaslight myself into believing that is the same person.
Let's read this email. Biden is not your current president. The mask malfunctions on Biden are getting worse each day on purpose. This will end badly for blank, who is posing with a clone on Facebook. The dude playing Biden ain't Biden. Real Biden was an evil, sick, angry man who, that's an actor with a mask. We've been over this 1,000 times. It's never going to change. There's also mentions of crimes against humanity and other stuff in this email. I guess I wasn't so crazy after all, but I'm just a conspiracy theorist. Let me know what you think.
Yes. See? Okay, now let's talk about child labor, because that's possibly on the horizon. So how are we going to go from this to that? Well, let me show you.
Out right now, and if a video needs to go viral, it needs to be this one. So I saw a video on Instagram of a woman stating that the Department of Education is moving to the Department of Labor. Just keep that in your mind. Then she stated that they are changing the child labor laws to where children can start working at a younger age. I had to look this up just to make sure. And by the way, that's right on the Department of Education's website. So then I got to thinking, wait a second. I swear I've heard something about this before. And then I remembered that I made a post a while back. And it was a leaked video, leaked conversation between two politicians.
Okay, so I got the transcripts. Mitch, we have to bring slavery back. Those were the good old days. Kevin, how will we do that? There's no way we can do that. Mitch, black people won't do it, but white people will. Kevin, how will we get white people to be slaves? That sounds ridiculous. Mitch, we have to get rid of the separation of church and state. We must have state-funded religious schools. Kevin, I don't see where you're getting at. Mitch, those schools will have work programs for 4th through 8th graders. Kevin, I think I see where you're going here. How is that going to work? Mitch, we get the kids to pick all the produce as a part of their work program to teach them the values of good old-fashioned blue-collar labor and the bounty of God. Kevin, I don't think that anyone will go for that. Mitch, it's all about grooming. Start in the 1st grade, and by 4th grade, they'll be ready to do it. Kevin, but we already have people to pick the produce. Mitch, we have to finish the wall. Kevin, no way that's going to happen. Mitch, we find better ways to get the immigrants out of the United States. Kevin, like doubling ICE. Mitch, yes. Kevin, this will be too hard, and we'll be too busy trying to sustain this over long periods of time and generations. Mitch, no, we get rid of the abortion laws in the United States and we make it mandatory that all 8th grade females be impregnated in order to graduate. Kevin,
Okay, I don't believe in any of this stuff, but I couldn't find the email that I had read from somebody else before. This is a liberal woman, so she's going to have a liberal spin. What I remember from the person who was just straight reading it like this, I don't know where this recording is. I don't buy it. I'm sorry. Because it doesn't say that. It was between Epstein and somebody else, and they were not talking about it like this. They were more talking about it as we need to get the immigrants out, but we need people to pick the produce and all that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to make the children do it. And like make like a what's it called, like a work school program, like a school work program, but they have to lower the age that kids can work in the country to do that. And yeah, so it's going to be like a class, like maybe like an elective or something like that, where they take a bus and they bus the kids to some place to pick crops or whatever, and then bring them back. And they just do it for school credit, which doesn't sound that bad. And then the guy was responding to them going, Epstein or somebody going, we can't get people to do that. And then he goes like, well, the black people won't do it, but we can get the white kids to do it. They'll do it. And then they're saying, well, just tell them it's like healthy and going back to nature and maha and all that stuff, like in order to get them to do that. And look, I was thinking about it, and like, I have no freaking problems with kids in the field picking fruits and vegetables for our country. I don't freaking think that's a bad thing, except you cannot put all these freaking pesticides. It needs to be regenerative farms. If it is regenerative farms with good soil, farm practices, all that stuff, I don't have a problem with it. What's happening in this country now is it is so toxic, which is why they use immigrants, because when they get cancers and all that stuff, they ship them over. It's like, it's not their problem. They don't have any ability to like sue their employers and stuff. So we have to understand that because the food is so toxic, that's why they're using undocumented and outside labor, because they know they would be sued to death because of all the toxic pesticides and everything. And my husband works with someone who creates some of the toxic pesticides for farming. And he, I guess, and created them. He was exposed to one. He's got like boils all over his body, and he's not even allowed to say what it is or anything about it, because like he, signed away his ability to speak on it. But he's just like, it is so bad. And glyphosate was bad and everything like that, but now they have, I think it's called Parquat or something like that. And he's like, that's a bajillion times worse. Just like the runoff from it can give you like extreme cancers and stuff. So like you do like allegedly, blah, blah, blah. But you just don't want your kids or anybody else's kids near that stuff. But yeah, can I see them doing it the right way? Of course. If they get rid of the pesticides, regenerative farm, good topsoil practices, there's nothing wrong with kids farming and helping out like that. Like I think Michelle Obama tried to do school farms, and then it was like a whole bunch of corporations took her to like a meeting and basically said, you will not be doing that. And in fact, you're going to be encouraging even more toxic chemicals in the schools and the school lunches. And right after that, like they took away, because they had put in the schools some, what's it called, planters, and like they would have like a class where you would go and farm and they would teach you about that stuff. It was very nice. And then they took it away and they replaced the entire school like cafeteria area with just wall-to-wall vending machines of the most toxic processed food, Coke products, chips, all the junk you could imagine. And they brought like, I think it was Papa John's and McDonald's and Burger King into the school, right? So not only do we have the toxic school lunches, which are freaking bad enough, we know people who worked making the school lunches, and they're like, I would never touch that with a 10-foot pole. If you love your kids, do not let them near school lunches. Like everything that they have in them is just so not good. But yeah, so we got a lot of problems here, as you can see. Now her spin on it is like, oh, they're gonna force us to have kids Handmaid's Tale style. Like that's not gonna happen. They might get rid of, you know, smishmortions, if you know what I mean. They might get rid of that. Let's just, you know, that could happen. Of course that could happen, at least in some states. But even if they got rid of that, they're not going to force you to have a kid by 8th grade. That was not what was said. So, I mean, if you could find something that proves me wrong, I'll accept it, but I haven't seen it. Oh, interesting. So we can all look this up later and see what's going on. Okay. But I do think it's funny that they're like, well, we can't have the black kids do it. We have to make the white kids do it, because we don't want to offend them, and they won't do that. I don't know if they'll get the Hispanic kids to do it. I feel like they would be offended too. Just saying. All right. So, okay. And another thing that we can look forward to, tomorrow we have some interesting possible news, you guys, in the emails. On 7/17/2018, some dude, I don't know these people, says his name is James Haywood, emails Epstein, and he says, we need to discuss World War III. The investors want to know if we're still planning February 8th, 2026. Guess what that is? Tomorrow. If anyone, you still have a few hours to place your bets if you think it's going to happen, because he wants to know if we're still planning it for February 8th, 2026. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you think that they bothered to change it, or are they keeping it the same? I had sometime in March where they were, I guess, planning to off or somehow planned the offing of who's the Prince Charles or something, or King Charles. So let's see if that happens in March. Tomorrow is World War III. So apparently we weren't in World War III. I thought we've been in World War III, but maybe it ramps up tomorrow, or maybe it's like officially declared tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen, you guys. Hopefully it's nothing. This was in the Epstein emails, so they still have time to change things, of course. Another thing that I found in the files, which I thought was hilarious, was, do you guys remember like some tanker hit a bridge around Detroit a while back. And I think the bridge collapsed or something. So somebody I don't remember who it was. Somebody had emailed him and said, we handled it, and says it like basically like it's done. And here's a video of the explosion of the bridge. So there's that. I mean, but then at the same time, you have to go, if it is flooding, they could be just throwing everything that happened that maybe they did. Maybe like, the government did it. Maybe like whatever, somebody they don't want us to know about did those things. And they're just pinning freaking everything. Because how is this guy in charge of like bridges and in charge of wars and in charge of like, that's too many things. It's just too many. It's too many. Like, he can't, no person, and he's got a big head, but it doesn't matter how big your head is. Like, you don't have the capacity to do that many different things well. And then I don't know if anybody saw the interview with him and Bannon. It's so terrible because he's so dumb. And I don't know if that's also a psyop. Like, hey guys, not only do we do all these terrible things, but we're like legit the lowest IQ people on earth. Because this guy sounds like he's a malignant narcissist with like the lowest IQ, but he's just hyper confident for some reason and charismatic. Also, there was allegedly a photo of a passport which had a different last name, which if that is true, it could link him to one of like the 12, 13 families, whatever. But I'm not going to go into that because, of course, we are not allowed to say the names of any of those families without immediately losing everything on YouTube and stuff. So we don't mention that. But that's like allegedly, maybe, who knows, who cares? That could mean why he feels so untouchable, right? Because if he is a member of one of those families that rules the world, that makes more sense than he's just like some dude that's in like, it just doesn't make sense. Also, allegedly he's won the lotto like several times, and that's probably true. And knowing that's true, and I've been saying that, and people have been like, that's a conspiracy. I feel like they give these type of people who do stuff for them lotto wins. Like, you're not going to go and submit your ticket and win something, you guys. Maybe you get 10,000, 20,000, some chump change so that you can know person who knew a person who made like something. But the big wins, you're not going to know those people because they are allegedly, yes, allegedly. You know how it is. Anyways, so we need another palette cleanser. So here we go with a palette cleanser.
Paul was named for.
Okay, how do I? Here we go.
Ron Paul was named 42 times in the Epstein files, but it looks like he was one of the only politicians who looks better, not worse, after being named in the Epstein files. Here's one that says, any conceivable candidate, with the exception of Ron Paul, will be friendlier to Israel than the current administration. And Ron Paul has gained ground after a debate in which his refusal to join the Iran warhawks was front and center, pretty much just admitting that he was indeed the best Republican presidential candidate in both 2008 and 2012. But the craziest part is the Epstein files prove that the Ron Paul revolution and liberty movement that started in 2007 is still one of the strongest forces in U.S. politics today, because the Epstein files wouldn't have been released if it weren't for Ron Paul's disciple and successor in Congress, Thomas Massie, proving that the message of liberty is so strong and true that it only takes one free man to defeat an entire empire of lies.
We'll see about that, but still, nice palette cleanser. All right. And let's just look at something else. Just a nice, fun blast from the past.
The law down there fully went out. I am not going to do more. Okay, that's out. So I didn't ask you, baby. We're going to the restaurant. afterwards we're going to a strip club. I am not going to a strip club. Where they cross fit. Guy to a girl. I am not going there. Just afterwards she wrote some mean things about me and the friends, and I said that she was nasty. You know, after I was so kind to her. I mean, I told you we were at the table eating. Some little kid came up. Oh my God, Michael Jackson and Madonna. So we had the argument and get you. Get out of here. Leave them alone. I said, don't you ever talk to children like that. She said, shut up. I said, you shut up. That's how we went at the table. Yeah, that's like that. Then we went out again and then we went to the Academy Awards. And she tried to like.
So you heard it from the man himself. Madonna, she just a witch. And I believe it. I believe it. Okay. So Peter Attia is in the files. Have you seen the things he said? I forgot the exact email, but it was something like, wow, I can't believe I know you and you're my friend and all the crazy stuff you do. And I can't tell anyone about it. So exciting type of thing. Like he just sounds like such a dork. I don't know if you know if Peter Attia, who he is, but he's like some health guy and he's tried to take over like the biohacking movement, but then he was pushing seed oils and saying that the biohackers were like not that smart for like, and like seed oils are not going to make that big of a difference. And so many other things that make me want to punch him. But so not a good look, not a good look. And then of course we have the fun story of Bill Gates messaging Epstein that while he was there with, some, I don't know who he was banging, but like whatever, they gave him an STD and he was asking Epstein for meds to secretly give his wife once and for all, proving that they did not have an open relationship like everyone wanted us to believe. Like, oh, all rich dudes have like an open relationship. No. You don't have to secretly give your wife STD medications if you have an open relationship. Because I have ex-coworkers that have open relationships and get STDs all the time. All the time. Some of them don't go away. But they have accepted that as part of the deal. So they constantly get tested and get on medications together as a family. Isn't that cute? Disgusting. But you know what? I'm not here to judge, even though I do. All right. So does anybody want to put some names in the chat and we can search them up before I go? I got like 5 more minutes and we could see if we find anybody in the files. Now, we're only up to volumes 10 and 11 of the DOJ's dropped stuff. So like, I can't say that everything is going to show up, but like, let me know if you guys want me to search up anyone and I can search up with what we have available right now. Who the heck is that? Is that a real person? Do not just, what? I don't believe that's a real person. No, he's not on the files. He hardly leaves the house. I know everywhere he goes. Anyways. Yes, please do look up my name. Oh my God. Thank you, homie. What is up? I cannot find or think of anybody that I would look for. Do you want to see what Elon posted? Let's see. People are talking about him. All right. They're talking about, Okay, the first one on Elon is like, Elon Musk appreciates the invitation to the ranch, but he has commitments. Okay, interesting. And then this one, they're talking about us like a solar city in Mexico or something. I don't know. Boring. Okay. Sultan bin Salalum. Dear Jeffrey, did you have your dinner with Elon Musk? And did you explain to him my proposal? What was his reaction? No reply. So he sent it again. Let's see. Another one. Elon Musk appreciates the invitation, but has commitments. But he gave the location for SpaceX if you would like to go meet him there. Richard Kahn to Jeffrey Epstein. This guy is nuts. And a link to The Guardian of an article that says Tesla chief Elon Musk did marijuana on Steve Rogan. I mean, Joe Rogan. Sorry, did I call him Steve Rogan? Joe Rogan. All right, let's see. Next one. Is there anyone at Solar City that my guys can talk about electrifying the Caribbean island or the New Mexico ranch? So they need some electricity. Are we in New Mexico? That's what Elon wrote. Okay. Unknown. I don't know. Don't know. Okay. They sent a podcast with Elon Musk to Jeffrey. Okay. Where SpaceX is located in case he wants to go. More podcasts on Musk. So they're basically like monitoring what Elon Musk is doing and sending it to Jeffrey, from what I can see. And he seems to be interested in Elon building space internet, satellite internet. Okay, interesting. Let's see. I will check. Perfect. Let me know exactly what he wants. We'll organize. Elon Musk. So basically, Jeffrey Epstein is saying, I want Elon Musk. So, and people are trying to procure him for him. What do you think of inviting Elon Musk to this event or this event? Okay. So, don't see anything like directly. Okay, here we go. Due to the high volume of unsolicited emails, my address has changed. Please send me a text. So that's an Elon automatic response. Oh my God. And do not tell me his email was literally, hold on, it was Elon at SpaceX. Like with nothing, like just straight up Elon at SpaceX. Okay. So clearly he had to change that. Good for him. This Sultan guy is really interested in if he'd spoke to Elon Musk. Still hasn't. New York Times are all over me. Read Elon Musk. I feel sorry for him. Seriously, and so do I. It's not good. So why are they upset with Elon? Or like, why do they feel bad for Elon Musk? Okay. Well, I mean, they have some sort of soul. They feel bad for Elon Musk, probably because he did some weeds on the Rogans, and it wasn't a good time in his life. It was a very hard time for him. Yeah. But anyways, 609 emails that mention him. Like, I only see one where Elon responds and says he's busy. So I don't know. Who else do we want to look for? Joe Rogan. Let's see what we get. All right. Do we get anything? There's no emails from Joe Rogan. I don't see anything. Okay, there's these two. Here we go. Is this a Joe Rogan? What? What the heck is this? Should I read this? Okay, whatever. Is this a Joe Rogan? There she is wearing a push-up bra and a skirt as wide as toilet paper, complaining that men are always looking at her as an ex object, if you know what I mean. I don't know. And then, are you naked? No. It appears like Jeffrey Epstein is writing this email to himself and replying to himself. So I don't think that's real. It doesn't make any sense. It sounds absolutely insane. So I'm just going to go ahead and say that has nothing to do with Joe Rogan. But Epstein is insane. Maybe he likes to email himself. I don't know. All right. Anybody else we want to look up? Let's see. Deepak Chopra. Do you want to see Deepak Chopra? Redacted. Let's look at that one. Okay. Ha 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 ha. We are on top of it. Oh, yes, for sure. 2 p.m. at Jeffrey's house. Can confirm. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, sounds good. Okay, this is not helping me. All right. Okay, here we go. My entire family is visiting next week. I'm still in Costa Rica. How long will you be in New York? Monday. Wow, what a riveting email. I know he did some stuff. I heard it online, but they are 1,028, so I'm not going to go through them. Okay, let's see what else. What else we got? There's like some really creepy stuff about like the littlest girl and all some weird stuff. But anyways, as we can see, this has always happened throughout history, and it will continue to happen throughout history because people cannot produce the adequate amount of dopamine and serotonin when they have too much power. So the only way to get it is to do nefarious things. Now, we could call them demons and demon possessed, and I don't think that is far from the truth. I think they could be. I think the chances that they are pretty high, and at the same time, I do know regular people are also capable of horrors. And I do know, I did see this interview of this woman who was like an Epstein survivor, right? And she's talking about how her friend said, you want to be a model? My friend Jeffrey can help you. Come to his place, come meet him here, whatever. And she went to meet him, blah, blah, blah. He supposedly attacked her and did like horrible things to her. She wasn't expecting it. And afterwards, she was like traumatized and she left. And then she got like a call from Jeffrey's, I guess, assistant, or maybe there was an email or something, but somebody contacted her and said that Jeffrey got her an interview with like, I think it was Ford Modeling Agency or something like that. And she's like, of course she's going to go, well, you know, this already happened to me. Maybe he feels bad. This is literally, she said, well, this already happened to me. Maybe he feels bad. Maybe I'll just go check it out. And maybe it wasn't that bad. Maybe I misunderstood something, whatever. She ends up going to this meeting. The entire modeling agency is like all kissing her ass. Like, you are so wonderful. Jeffrey's told me all about you. You're so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. Like everybody all steps until she gets to the office, who seems to be, I think it was like one of the people running the whole modeling agency met with her, and she sits down not knowing what to expect. And this girl goes, Jeffrey sent you. I love Jeffrey. Don't you just love Jeffrey? And instead of going, well, he did this and this and this to me, whatever, she sold her soul. She wants what she wants. She wants that career more than anything. So she just goes, yeah, I love Jeffrey too. And even when she's recalling this, she's just talking about how excited she was to be in this position, to be so close to her dreams, blah, 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 and to be able to do this. So if that tells you anything, I'm going to leave you all with this. It's a good thing too. It is don't have dreams. No, I'm kidding. It's not don't have dreams. It's don't have any dreams stronger than your morals, and know what you will and will not do before somebody offers you something and you have to sell your soul to get it, right? Know it before. And then when these things come up, you don't fall for it. Yeah, so it does seem like from the stories that it's very much like the devil walks in and makes you a deal. Like, that's what it seems like. Yes, there were some people who he didn't make a deal with and he just completely destroyed their lives. But there was others that he made deals with. And I don't know, because I can only speculate and I don't know what's true, what's not true. But what if the people who, he just, or whatever happened that was, like they couldn't be saved. There was a trap door in his place that went right to the ocean in the middle of it. So like you didn't have time to swim out. It's like if you went through that trap door, that's just something to remember. If you were allegedly, possibly, theoretically offed, maybe you were the ones who didn't sell your soul. Maybe you were the one who goes to look straight in the devil's eye and say, no, I don't want anything enough to do that or to agree to that. There's nothing I want enough to say yes to that. And those are the ones that don't make it. That's just my theories, right? So do with that what you will. Don't want anything in this world, because nothing is more precious than your soul. It is better to lose everything and just, I don't know, have them do whatever to you and you maybe don't make it and you go away with a good heart and a good conscience, than you let these people take from you the only thing you have in this life. Look, we don't know what's going to happen in the next realm, in the next life. We don't know exactly the details. We have ideas of what heaven is like, or if there's a heaven, or if we're reincarnated, whatever, depending on the vast amount of religions. But one thing we know for sure is that if you sell the only thing you can take with you to the next worlds, there is no next world for you. It is just going to be pain or nothingness forever. It's not worth it. And I remember, on a lesser degree, I remember being in Nickelodeon Studios, and I told you guys this before. I remember being in Nickelodeon Studios, right? I'm there in line telling jokes. Somebody approaches me, like one of the producers from Nick Studios, and he sees me. First, he offers me, like, I don't remember exactly, but it was like to be in some shitty commercial, right? It's a shitty commercial. Will you come back with me? Whatever, I'll sign you for like this stupid commercial to do something stupid, but for money. I didn't want to do it. It was stupid, but it was for money. And I just go and I looked at him like, no, not that. And immediately he got angry, like the face contorted to anger. Like, who the do you think you are to tell me no, kid? And then up the ante. It's like, how about this? Can I get you to come over into the back and sign yourself away if I offer you this? And again, I looked at him and I said, no. It got to the point where he was like almost yelling and saying, how about your own TV show on Nickelodeon? Right? And I want you to think about that. What kid would say no to that? I'm 11. I watch this stuff all the time. I'm obsessed with this stuff. It was like, it's every kid's dream to be on TV, because that's what we do. We raise ourselves with the television. Our parents are working. We're just like, to be one of those kids, to be like Justin Timberlake, Christina Aguilera, all these people, whatever. Like, that was the dream. But I'm telling you, I felt uncomfortable, because it wasn't just like, do this and I'll give you this. It's like, your family can continue on in the park. I'll take you back here and we'll get you squared away. And I'm just like, when he said it like that, an 11-year-old spidey sense goes up and says, no, there's nothing I want to go alone with you, creep, into the back. No. There's nothing so enticing that I want to go over there alone with you, a stranger, a weirdo, a creep that works with children, that's an adult. No freaking way. And my parents, well, my dad wasn't there. My mom was there and some other people were there. And she's like, whatever you want, sweetheart, because she wasn't a good freaking parent. You should be like, no, you're not going to take her alone. I'm going to go with you. That's what any good parent would freaking do. But no. She's like, yeah, go ahead. It's fine, honey. We'll meet up with you later. You go have fun. Right? Like, basically freaking A, bro. Anyways, so I tell my kid this all the time. I'm like, remember, don't want anything so bad that someone can tempt you. There was this guy that really liked me. He wanted to marry me. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't say to him, I'm like, I just need to get to know you more because I feel like I don't know yet. I don't know you enough. I just had a bad feeling, but I didn't know why I had a bad feeling about this kid. And he offered me a purebred Persian cat. First, he tried to offer me a car, but like, I don't know what a supercar is. So like, I didn't know what that was, and it didn't make any difference to me. I'm like, why do I have a Corolla. I can get around. Like, I didn't understand like how much it was worth or whatever. I'm kind of dumb about that. But once he said Persian cat, my eyes lit up and I was like so tempted. All right. So tempted. And then I'm just like, wait a minute. Whoa. Somebody is tempting me to do something that I don't feel all in on doing, that I feel like a little bit weird about doing because of a stupid cat. So the next day, I bought a purebred Persian cat with my whole paycheck because I told myself I will never, ever let anybody have anything to offer me that I want so much to do something stupid, like go against better judgment. And then it came out later that he was doing horrible things to people. When he had an enemy, he would, I don't know if I should say this. If he had an enemy, he would like break into their house and like put stuff on their computer and then call people on them. All right. So that's the type of person he was. And I didn't know that, but I had he was super nice to me. How am I going to know that? But I had a feeling you get a chill down your spine with some people. They're really nice. They seem really friendly. They smile to your face, but you feel there's something not right about them, but you don't know yet. You need more time. And it was also like, he first met me. He's like, you got to marry me now. And it's like pressure. And I'm like, whoa. Anyways, be careful. Don't want anything that will make you second guess your judgment, is all I'm saying. Anyways, I had a beautiful Persian cat after that, and nobody could convince me to do anything because I had my dreams in my little floof. He was a good boy. He lasted 14 years. He was as floofy as ever. And I have continued to get floofy Persian cats because that's my, I don't know, my movie deal. That's my supercar. That's my, I don't know, whatever. It's just like a Persian cat. That's my thing. And I know it is. So I had to get one so I wouldn't be tempted for anything else. There's nothing in this world that's more important than your soul. Remember that, guys. So if you really want something like, let's say a supercar, you really wanted a supercar, just work for it yourself. Put your own blood and tears and sweat into it. Don't put your soul into it. All right. Just put yourself into perspective. Have a guideline of your morals, and do not go to an island or to a room alone with a stranger that is pressuring you, whether you're a guy or a girl, whether you're Elon Musk or Randy Jones down the street, whoever you are. Do not fall for these people. Yeah. And that's the moral of the story. Okay. That's the moral of everything that's going on here. And yes, they do eat things they're not supposed to be eating. And allegedly it tastes like cream cheese in certain parts that you probably shouldn't eat either. And yes, we've been speculating for centuries about it. It is something that happens. We know they cannot create joy. We also know that he had dangerously low T, lower than most women. He had low T, Epstein, right? Such low T. The other thing is, a lot of people, they think variety or endless opportunity. Let's say you're a regular guy, right? You're a normal, regular guy, and you just like women. You like adult women. You're just a regular guy. You like adult women. And Don't let anyone convince you that you need 50 billion adult women, because the emperors of China, everybody who had harems back in the day, when they would have so much, they all got erectile dysfunction, ED, right? Low T, whatever. You think variety is going to make things better, but it sucks everything away, because lust is empty if it is not combined with love. And you cannot love multiple people fairly and evenly and the same. There's always going to be one that you love the most. So just stick with them and stop this I need everything. That's gluttony, that's lust, it's excess, and it makes you literally not function. So we're finding out that the more people have opportunities and take those opportunities, the less they feel, right? And then they can't function in normal situations anymore. What Persian stalker? I never dated a Persian person, if that's what you're thinking. I don't know any Persians, except for like my family members. I'm not going to date them. Anyways, so yeah, be careful out there, guys. Be safe, have good morals, make good choices, and we will see you all next time. Like, subscribe, share, and comment below for the algorithm. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
The old gods whisper with tongues of sin. They crawl through culture to pull you in. Don't be for sale, don't wear their grin. The old are rotten, don't let them win. Eyes and hats and mirrored glass, they promised youth, they cursed your past. You drank the lie with ruby lips, but every toast is one